So basically, the KCB Expert Talks is a platform that we came up with so that we can engage many of our stakeholders, primarily customers, and knowledge share, because we thought that there's a big gap where people intend to acquire knowledge on different elements of business, but it is not readily available to them. So we thought that we would come up with a forum where different experts in different fields would come and speak to our customers, speak to our stakeholders, and pass on pertinent knowledge to them. The idea is that over time we shall see different topics. One to engage on issues of taxation, one to engage on issues of housing and mortgages. Today we talked about finance and technology, which we feel is very vital, especially where Rwanda is today. We are seeing the adoption rates of financial inclusion going higher and higher, and technology as well. Mobile technology is growing, so there's no better time for us to have this particular topic on the table. But we see it more as relationship building, and for us at KCB, that's quite key. We want to reach out to our customers, we want to engage our customers. Today we had a Q&A session at the end of the event where we could see that there's a lot that is going on in terms of the inquiries from the customer. So KCB has to play its role. We have to make sure that we are present. We have to make sure that the customer always has an idea and information pertaining to different areas of their business. And this is a big event, because you will see this growing, and we have spoken about this. We want to have more people attending, we want to have more experts coming in, and want to engage on different topics so that our key audiences, which is primarily our customers, can build their capacity in their different fields.
So you just made a presentation about fintech and margins, how the two fit in together, and how you are bringing innovation and new and easier ways of purchasing goods and services.
Yes.
And you also share the experiences of what's going on, the innovations, the feedback from the population. What is your experience within these months that you're pushing the platform?
Well, things are moving forward. That's the good news. Not fast enough, and as we were debating here, who's to blame? Is it the government? Is it financial institution, or us who are creating those fintech technology platforms? So I think for the government, it has done what they could do in terms of deploying internet all around. But I think now we, the entrepreneurs in fintech and also financial institutions, we have to do the magic and find a way, as you were asking, how do I convince you to, instead of you leaving your office to buy electricity at a local store, than going to Mergims right away and buy it. So there is something momentum. Again, as in any momentum, there's always a slow path, and then all of a sudden the exponential curve happen. And I think it will happen once we have more dynamic platform, such as what we are planning to do in 2 months, by enlarging our platform to any type of merchant. Because as I was telling someone, today we have a way to pay with all those tools they say, and Visa and other things. Mm-hmm. But how many merchants really do we have online? Mm. So that's the question you may have.
So tell me, sure. We all are wondering, what is it that we have this platform?
Yeah.
It's easier.
Yeah.
And it's accessible. We have smartphones, some of us, actually many. Some people are saying we have maybe at least 200,000.
Yeah.
That's not a bad number to start with.
Yeah.
But what is it that we are finding ourselves in a situation where you are actually begging us to use the platform? We have to use old school means of walking to the counter and to buy goods and services. When we have an easier platform like this, what is your experience?
So the first thing is the marketing. We definitely have to do a lot of work on marketing ourselves. And second, also, we have to make it attractive. I mean, human beings, they are always following the easiest way. The moment someone knows about us and realize he can get it to a certain point much easier than going outside or cheaper, they will definitely adopt us. So we have a lot of work to do.
What's the easiest way of doing that?
To marketing or to?
Yes.
Well, I mean, traditional marketing style. I mean,
you go to on the street, use all different ways.
Exactly. We should see us on.
Apart from it being an easy way of buying and goods and services.
Yeah.
What is the other incentive?
Well, the other incentive, for example, for merchants, we are connecting them to external markets, such as diaspora people. And as you know, someone in Europe has a more purchasing power automatically than someone in Rwanda today, if you go by the GDP. And that's what we realize. So now, if someone is able to spend $100 on your item, you should connect with him through us. That's one of the initiatives when we want to onboard merchant as we are getting ready to launch a larger platform for 2 months.
So this is margins.
Yeah.
How does it work?
So for now, it's simply we have essential services provider, telecoms, utilities provider. So someone who has a credit card, could be in Rwanda or outside of Rwanda, goes on, purchase that item, and automatically you get a voucher number. Either it could be text message or automatically uploaded on a SIM card. But in 2 months, what we are preparing is we are turning merchants as just for essential services an open marketplace where you, Magnus, you, for example, sell handcraft-made things. You'll be able to go and open a merchant's page and right away be ready to receive payment from anywhere in the world, people buying your stuff.
So you are connected to a bank?
Yeah, exactly.
All banks?
Yeah.
So I can have my account there? And whoever wants to buy one of my products,
exactly, and instantly you get the money there. Yeah.
But he has to have an account in one of those banks.
Of course, you still have to get money. Also, we'll be able to disperse money via mobile money, but that feature will come a little bit late. However, I suggest people to open a bank account, a collection account.
What is it taking for the public to actually use this?
Oh man, I mean it's the egg chicken game. You know, you have to invest a lot in technology on our part, in marketing. It's a lot of money.
Okay, what advantages do we have as a country now, as we speak now?
Yeah, we have internet. That's a great advantage, and we should really use it. And I feel like we don't use it enough.
Second?
The second is those smartphones. It's not just for WhatsApp. You know, people should really take time to explore. What can we do? No, definitely, I agree. I mean, you send an email to
communication.
Yeah, you send an email to someone, and he say, "Let me get my office first." Like, what? You have a smartphone? Check your email on it. So those things, once people start to understand the smartphone they have in their hand, it's more than just WhatsApp or just making calls. It's a really smart tool. And we have to do some work also. You media have also to do some, I don't know, reports or some, I don't know, featuring how to use your smartphone. So it's a common ground problem.
Interesting.
And I think we should all dive in and try to make this exponential curve happen as soon as we can.
Okay, let's see what will play a role as a media house and as media in general. But I wish you good luck, man.
Thank you, and thank you for your support. And,
okay, all right,
you made it.
You made a presentation. Your presentation was about a very specific subject that concerns not only Rwandans but all the businesses and affects the lifestyle, affects the economy, affects everything in the country. And this is something that you're passionate about. Do you want to tell us why you think it is so important that everyone becomes an advocate for cashless economy? Tell us why.
Maybe not so much of becoming an advocate, but certainly everyone can use cashless methods. I mean, first and foremost, to be able to pay cashless, means you have a tool, you have an account, right? The accounts that I'm most interested in are bank accounts because I can get a loan that will help me to create wealth, right? Creating wealth is really how you secure your future, right? So if you're able to pay cashless, it means that first and foremost, you have access. You have access to a service. And you're now able to transact daily with that service. The central bank's #1 goal is what? A financially inclusive cashless economy, right? And cashless is a catalyst for financial inclusion. So the more Rwandans are able to pay cashless, the more businesses that are able to receive cashless payments, the more we shall truly be able to achieve financial inclusion. Because the law of supply and demand.
Is there a
If I-
multiplier effect
Yes.
for us to do electronic transaction in the economy than cash?
Yes.
What is it?
Businesses giving us the option to pay cashless. And so those businesses have got to engage their banks to give them a solution. If their bank is not giving them a solution, they should engage a bank that gives them a solution. It starts with the business being able to give us the choice to pay digitally. But even the business has got to be educated. And the business is a customer like any other of the bank. So the bank has got to educate the business about the value of what digital payments will do for them.
You're much more knowledgeable about digital financial transactions versus economic growth. Yes.
I'm a scholar of public policy.
Okay, public policy. Tell me, I want to understand the relationship between digital transactions or payment systems versus economic growth.
Okay. I don't know if you've heard of the Moody's report. There's a report that we study economies to see the direct correlation of cashless payments to GDP growth, right? So if you look at, for instance, Rwanda is 8 billion economy.
Yes.
Yeah. So we probably have consumer expenditures of 6.4 billion, right? So all of those billions, majority of those are in cash. Yeah. So if you look at the numbers that the central bank had presented last week, 42 billion paid, 406 withdrawn at the ATM, and that's just a few debit card holders. 406 billion is cash in circulation, meaning that it's not sitting in any treasury and it cannot do anything.
It's out there.
It's out there. Now, banks need to lend money. They can only lend what they have. Yeah? In the event they don't have it, they can't lend. And also government is a borrower like any one of us. To invest in any kind of project, they need money, and that money will come from, obviously, the taxes.
So when these Rwandans are holding that cash somewhere
at
in
home,
their pockets,
it is not benefiting us in any way.
Any economy, yes.
Yes. So if that money remained within the financial system, it can be utilized to make investments that bring returns to the financial system.
What is Visa's role in that whole?
For us, we're a technology company that aims to digitize cash, right? So anytime that cash is exchanged, no digital method is there. So we hope that at every given point, if I'm going to buy my bus ticket, if I'm going to the market to buy food, if I'm going to pay my hospital bill, whatever I'm doing, if it is cash, the economy is a loser. Of course, Visa is a loser, the banks are a loser. But it's mostly consumers who lose, because then financial services are more expensive.
So who needs to be more knowledgeable? Is it the customers
or
the service providers? And how much knowledge does somebody need to embrace digital?
You don't need that much knowledge. So if I go by the various groups that I have visited, it's typically what we call micro entrepreneurs.
Down in the economy.
Yes, that are selling in the markets. First thing is, what are your deeply felt needs? That come with money. Now, if I go with those that get a loan, for instance, in those market in Kayonza, they get a loan from a bank. The closest branch is in Rwanda. So they have to leave their business, go to the bank to collect their money in order to go and buy supplies for the business. Where does digital come in? First of all, the loan itself will be disbursed directly into someone's account, which they have access to on their mobile phone. If they need to buy supplies, that place where they buy supplies should be able to simplify the life of that business person to be able to just buy supplies without needing to go to Rwanda to get cash, then bring the cash here. So if it was that all the ecosystem was digitized, this person selling charcoal in Kayonza market can just sit at her stall, order from the supplier.
Is as that?
It is. It is. So that means that the truck selling charcoal at the market should accept digital payment such that this lady will just go steps to the truck to buy the charcoal and bring them to her shop.
Do we
Without
have
needing
enough
to go
digital
anywhere.
payments to have this thing going on?
Everyone that has a mobile phone basically has a financial tool in their hand, and they just need to activate it to pay and be paid. And that's what technology like M-Visa does. So someone, all those people can get M-Visa. Let's say Urwego banks them. Urwego will give them M-Visa, allowing them to receive payment. And then I bank with KCB. So if I go to the market to buy my charcoal, all I need to do is see that sign, get on my phone, make a payment, just like I did there when I bought. That's it.
You speak of KCB, you
Yes.
spoke of KCB, and you kept saying
I'm
how...
at KCB.
Okay, what is it with KCB that is bringing on the market in the industry that...
So, I mean, it's not just KCB. Visa works with many banks. And I'm at a KCB event, and therefore it would be impolite for me to mention other people at their event. But banks typically provide the same services. The same services, the same tools. The only variance will be in the quality of service and the cost of the service. So if and that's why consumers need to know their options and shop around to make sure that you're getting the best value for money. If I'm entrusting you with my money to keep it, you need to make it easy for me to access that money. And you give me the tools. So you give me mobile banking. So KCB has mobile banking. They have USSD and they have an application. So everybody, whether you have a feature phone or a smartphone, you can still be able to transact. Then KCB needs to make sure, or the banks need to make sure, that there are places where I can use this tool that they've given me. So they go out there and get merchants to pay. So Umutako, for instance, accepts payments today. I can go there, whether I bank wherever, and be able to pay them with my card or even Visa. So there are other banks that are doing the same. So banks need to certainly
Finally,
meet consumers.
tell me, what do you need to confront to get this thing going on?
Education.
That's it.
Education. I think there are a lot of misconceptions about cashless. I think for most businesses, they're worried that cashless is going to bring transparency into their business, and then they're going to pay more taxes. For those of us who get salaries, we don't have a choice, right? Our taxes are taken right away. The businesses can file based on what they say they have earned. So imagine if there was transparency, we would have more tax revenues. But most importantly, people's lives are simplified.
What about ignorance?
Ignorance is probably the number one reason why we're not cashless. But I mean, we were born and we grew up paying cash. To do that mindset shift will require some incentives. I mean, you see, I keep referencing Prime Minister Modi. When he became Prime Minister, the first thing he did was, I want to see more Indians have bank accounts because this cash economy is killing us. So he put a goal of 200 million accounts in 6 months. To achieve that, he gave businesses a tax discount of 2% and consumers an instant tax discount of 2% to get them to not pay with cash. What that provided was many businesses jumped on to get the solutions to pay.
For us to have such
I think it will
stuff?
take something of that magnitude.
Is there a certain myth with this financial
There's no
kind
myth.
of
I think
approach?
it's not rocket science. It's really the law of supply and demand. The more supply of places to pay digitally, the greater the demand for digital financial services. It's that simple.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Nice day. So I have just one question. Right. I want to find out, particularly on this subject, what is it that the banks and the financial institutions in this country have to confront to be able to move and embrace digital payment systems so that we can impact on our economy faster and effectively?
My assessment of things is that if I were to rank all the things that banks and financial institutions have to deal with, perhaps the highest is the whole question of awareness and understanding of, first of all, how all these technology things work and the benefits that arise from using non-cash payment systems. To me, I think that's the biggest challenge that we have to deal with, because it has a lot of implications. One, it has a lot of implications in in getting people to inquire and to accept that, yes, I can actually go to a shop without cash and still buy. But more importantly, that the shop can actually say, I can still sell my things without collecting cash. I think that's a very big hurdle that we still have to deal with. And to me, it's about awareness, it's about education, it's about being able to demonstrate the benefits of non-cash payment systems.
Lucy Mbabazi mentioned something, one of the speakers.
Yes.
And I was reflecting on it, and she said banks or financial institutions or service providers are less inclined to approach the customers, and it's the customers approaching the service providers. Yet you guys have the clue how these people should access the services. How is KCB confronting this challenge?
I think the way we are looking at it ourselves is that it is a two-way initiative. The reason that we have this forum today is to step out of the traditional way that we would tell our customers when they ask us.
But is it correct?
It is the right thing. We must do a lot more of this kind of forums to actually tell people what it is that is available, how it works, demonstrate physically, and let people understand that it is possible to do these things without necessarily just expecting that they will come to ask.
So what role should the customers play?
So the role that the customer plays here is one, in seeking to understand the benefits, right? And number two, in seeking to understand their rights and responsibilities in this sense. Many times I get asked about the security of non-cash payment systems. I say, yes, very valid concern. But you know what? It is actually also a concern of the banks, and they understand that. And banks invest a lot of money in making sure that the security systems behind these technology-based
because
payment
the cash
solutions,
is actually, the money is actually susceptible to
in
fraud.
fact, the entity that is at the highest risk is the bank, not even the customer. And therefore, the bank invests a lot of money to make sure that there are protection systems, that there are all these technology-based tokens and protections that enables a customer to be able to not just make the payment, but actually make the payment.
You come from Kenya,
yeah.
but now you've been in Rwanda for 8 years now.
Yes.
Are there cultural aspects that are attached to this behavior of not embracing digital payments as fast as we should, as Rwandans?
To be honest, I don't think so. I mean, my sense is that we've probably not reached the point, either as banks and financial institutions or stakeholders in this market, to demonstrate to the user the benefits of doing this. Now, one of the most common things that you hear from merchants, for example, is that they do not want to accept digital payments because of a fear they have in their minds that by exposing themselves to that level of transparency, they might actually be eligible to pay more taxes than they would normally have done.
This is a transparency issue.
That's a transparency issue. And my point of view is we therefore, as banks and financial institutions and stakeholders, cannot just accept that that's a way of life. Because that already is a problem, that we have a population that thinks that by
because
being...
it has a cost to that.
It has a cost to it. The cost is indirect. You don't pay taxes. It means government doesn't have revenue. It means government borrows. It means interest rates are high. So it catches up with everybody. It's a vicious cycle. So I think the big challenge is to go over those mindsets.
Okay, now you in KCB are doing a lot of work.
Yes.
Do you feel it's unfair, or you feel bogged down that you're putting a lot of effort and your compatriots or your partners or the other players in the industry are not as much pushy as you are?
I wouldn't say so. It's not a concern. One, fine. I mean, we're spending this money. At the end of the day, the commercial benefit from us is that we have the first move advantage in doing the business. So there's no lost opportunity. But let me put it also this way, and this is now speaking as a chairman of the Bankers Association in Rwanda,
yes,
but
exactly.
I'm very aware that my other colleagues in the banking sector are also looking at this very keenly, and we are thinking about joint initiatives together with our regulator, which is the central bank, and the Ministry of Finance, to actually come up with, public awareness and education programs that begin to create a foundation, that allows individual financial institutions to now go out there and offer services that one might say will be designed to compete with whatever else is available.
You spoke of a moral hazard,
Yeah.
and I know about it.
Yes.
I've experienced it,
Right.
possibly done the same.
Yes.
Gone to the bank, withdraw huge amounts of cash,
Yes.
walked out of the bank with it,
Right.
and swung with it on the street,
Right.
and into my car, and
Yeah.
I've seen so many people do
Yes,
that.
yes.
You said this is because there is security, people are secure.
Yes.
You can't do that in other cities.
Mhm.
Is this a disadvantage?
No, certainly not. Certainly not. In fact, I think it's a very big advantage for Rwanda. I mean,
But not an advantage to the effort of making a cashless economy.
I was making I was drawing a parallel to some of the reasons why maybe in certain markets,
yes.
mobile money may have been adopted quicker and faster
than we
are.
Yes.
I mean, the reason that may have driven that
is one of those
security issues. Well, I'm saying in Rwanda, security is not our problem, and we cannot drive adoption of non-cash payment systems by driving a security issue, with physical cash. Perhaps the thing we should be talking about is the security around the systems that we have. But actually taking advantage of that secure environment that we have to make that quantum step in terms of popularizing and making it possible for people to understand that you don't deal in cash only because it is safe to carry it. Whether it is unsafe or not, cash has a cost.
Tell me now, 3 or 2
Yes.
competitive advantage
Yes.
that you have against your competitors, but on this particular issue of digitizing financial transactions. 3.
1, I think we have a very robust mobile payment solution. Now, with the addition of M-Visa, it becomes regional. So you can actually make regional mobile payment systems using M-Visa today, because M-Visa is acceptable in Kenya, and as far as I understand, M-Visa is actually looking to make these a global, to have a global acceptability, which means a customer in Rwanda potentially can go anywhere in the world and make a mobile payment without being registered as a mobile subscriber.
That's KCB only, nobody else.
That is KCB as it is today. Okay.
The second advantage?
Second advantage is that we have a regional presence today. So that regional presence gives us the advantage to be able to provide our customers with a regional view and a regional connectivity to enable payments. So a merchant in Rwanda or a buyer in Rwanda doesn't have to worry about the location of their location necessarily in terms of transacting, because it's possible through the mobile payment system or internet payment system.
And then the last one?
And the last one, I think we just have the knack and the guts and the and the desire
More than
to make it happen.
More than others?
I wouldn't say so, but yes, definitely standing out strong compared to everybody else that we have in town, and we are prepared to walk the journey. If I tell you, one of the things that we have done in Rwanda, which other banks have not done, and it's not for a bad reason, is that we actually don't accept third-party payments of checks over our counter. Because we are saying, we cannot preach water and drink wine. So if we want to go digital, we also cannot have a system that then allows cash to happen.
Yes.
A lot of people will say, well, but that is not very sensitive to the customer. But I say, nothing good comes with it.
So you had to accept the cost that is coming to
the criticism, the cost that comes with it. But guess what? We are telling our customers, this is not the right way of doing things. Let's change the way we transact. Go digital. Go electronic payments. By the way, digital payments does not mean mobile banking only.
No.
We're telling our customers you can do real-time gross settlements without exchanging cash. So if I want to pay Mazimpaka, what is the need for carrying 20 million francs in a bag to go and hand over to Mazimpaka when I could have sat in my office,
And
generated a payment, online that goes straight into Mazimpaka's account, wherever it is, the same day. It's possible. Was there any need for cash? No.
Thank you so much, Maurice.
Thank you
I
very much.
appreciate it. Have
Great.
a good day, and I
Thank
wish
you.
you luck with the effort you're putting into this.
Thank you very much,
this
and
campaign.
looking forward to your support and everybody's support in making this happen.
Thank you. Nice.